They said, hey, we're under attack. We're under attack. So I immediately, I don't respond. I just went over, woke up the team, went back, radioed them up, said, got you. We're getting ready to roll out. The saw, notorious for the drum to break and fall off. Well, it snapped off, and all the freaking 200-round drum went out. So it was kind of a cool moment. Did the whole, broke it off, half Rambo it, half the I'm not going to leave it dangling, so I get half the rounds around my neck and the other round here, so it was kind of cool.
At what point did you realize that you had been shot, and what was that like?
Oh, you knew it right away. It freaking hurt.
You can see their actions in regards to policies and these demonic, really, policies that they're signing.
And again, I don't hold anything back. I'm very blunt, very straightforward. People, I get comments. You're running, you're running for office. You're trying to be a leader. You can't talk like that. Watch me. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm an American first, I'm a Marine second, and that's all I'm always going to be.
Legislators that are Democrats signing off on policies that you think against children, you're thinking like, oh my gosh, like how does this even make sense?
I believe in God, I believe in Jesus. I really don't have a religion, because to me the Bible's not a religion. We put religion into the Bible. That's how I see it.
And that's right now is what we're lacking right now, especially in leadership, that foundation in leaders right now.
But what difference does it make? It makes a huge difference. It makes it. If you don't really know what the difference is, you can't fix the problem.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Daily Carry Podcast, episode 114 today, and we're excited to have some guests on set with us. We have John Tiegen and his wife, Pricella, on set with us. How are you doing today, John?
Well, I'm not in bed.
That's a start.
Are you saying you had to get up early to come in here?
Well, I still got up pretty much the same time, but I had to leave the house early.
Yeah.
I'm not in the military no more.
Were you the one to wake him up,
Yeah.
Pricella?
No, I usually wake her up.
She drove.
Oh.
She drove. I know that. He napped.
I was
going to
ride the bike, but
I am the driver.
I'm passenger princess.
Are you?
But she doesn't like she says I make her, I don't know.
I get
car sick. Motion sick.
Oh.
Motion sick. Yeah, I'm
So it's
very
kind of a
sensitive.
benefit for me.
So-
Yeah, so you can just chill and
Just,
Yeah. So I just,
Road
I
trips
love
seem
that.
very short for me.
I don't blame you, man. That's how I am. I don't like to drive at all. If I'm with my
What?
wife, I ask her to drive, and sometimes I'll drive because she's like, "Sure, drive. You can do it this time." Okay, fine. But it's just because of driving for work so much. I just get sick of driving. That's it. Just for the appraisals. I'm also a real estate appraiser, so I do appraisals all over
A lot of
the
windshield.
state. I have a lot of windshield time over the past 10 years of doing that. So driving is a little bit, I don't know, just boring at a certain point.
man, my wife will fall asleep before we get out of the driveway in the passenger seat.
Oh.
I just drove all the way to Weatherford, Texas, and back. Jane has no idea that we went. She slept the whole way.
That sounds amazing. I wish I could do that.
Dude, she's lights out.
I can't sleep in cars or planes. I just can't do it. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Never have been able to.
Huh. But you can passenger all day long.
I like to
I
pass.
hate that. Like if I'm driving,
If I'm driving,
I can pass out fast. If I'm passenger,
yeah,
I can
he
stay
does.
awake.
What? So you sleep when you drive? Oh, that's interesting. Good tactic.
Right?
Better buy a Tesla so it can drive itself.
Right?
Well, John, we are excited to have you and your wife on, and we're excited to have a good conversation with you guys today. You have quite a reputation, and you have served your country, and we are thankful for that service. We want to start by saying
Hang
that.
on. Slow down.
Wait, whoa, okay,
Hang on,
okay,
hang
all
on.
right. What am I going too fast on here,
No,
Micah?
nothing. Just, you're fine. But my focus is right here today.
Oh,
This is a firecracker of faith over here. I'm so excited to have this conversation. I just am. I'm sorry. I'm all about hearing Tig's story, but
Pricella, you have quite the reputation.
you do have the reputation.
And Micah echoed that reputation a few episodes ago whenever we were announcing that you guys were going to come on. He said
That's
that you are on fire for God, and that you pretty much might as well be an evangelist.
So I'm going to take 10 seconds to share a story, then we're going to go right back to Jared's question with Tig. She doesn't know this, so I've been waiting 2 weeks to say this. So we had Liberty Fest at DCF.
Oh,
You
yes.
guys are down there at the East Store, right?
Yep.
And you were over in the corner. You were eating nachos.
Yeah.
And Priscilla, she starts something. She says something about scripture, and then I don't know if you remember this conversation between you and I, but you start talking about faith, and there's 3 people standing to your left, which you couldn't see, and she gets going, and she gets and she gets her and her body, and all of a sudden these 3 people turn and look, and I would not describe these 3 people as. Let's just say that they were very interested in the conversation. That's probably not the conversation they would have normally been having.
Yeah.
And they all leaned in and they were listening to you. And then as soon as you're done with the conversation, looked over and she goes, the girl, she's tatted head to toe, pretty rough around the edges. She goes, this is what I was talking about, faith. And she looks at her boyfriend. He's like, yeah, I got it. Stop beating me up over it. I loved it because you impacted. And it was so cool because they were total strangers standing next to you. And I'm watching this whole thing unfold.
I didn't even know.
And you had I know you didn't know because I was like, I didn't want to interrupt the moment because she was soaking it in. And she actually stepped like 2 steps over to listen to you.
Oh.
And it was great. So back to Tig, sorry.
Well, you didn't
Back to
even let her
back,
give a reprisal here.
Such a good moment. It really was.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think that's really the foundation of really who I am. That's my. You always hear like that's my identity. My identity is in Him, and that's my foundation. And I can safely say that He is really the love of my life.
Yeah.
Is my Lord and Savior,
Amen.
Jesus Christ.
You said we're missing a lot of that, and
Oh, yes. And that's right now is what we're lacking right now, especially in leadership, that foundation in leaders right now. And I believe that's really the decline right now in our nation right now, that leadership, that foundation. Because without virtue in leadership, there can't be no political liberty at all.
amen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that moment and letting me share that. I know I stole it, but I was so excited. I watched that happen. Watching that girl lean in and then that affirmation back to the guy she was with. I was like, that was just a very cool moment.
Yeah.
You just don't see a lot of that in public, especially at a gun shop.
Yeah.
Right.
What are you talking about? That's where some of God's best work is done, is at gun shops.
God's round is in there.
Yes, sir. But John, we want to be able to let you tell a little bit about yourself, and for the listeners, that way they're not just taking my or Micah's word for it. You are a veteran, and you have a record, and you also have a movie or two, right? A couple different maybe documentaries and series that has covered some of the involvement that you had in operations in the military. Want to be able to just turn it over to you and share what you'd like to share. That whatever you think the people listening would be best served by hearing.
Probably nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they did we did the book first. And kind of how we did the book, a lot of people don't realize is we didn't like talk to each other before we did the book. A lot of people probably think we did. We didn't collaborate.
Set the tone on who we is. There might be 2 people on the planet that don't know your backstory.
So I was working for the agency at the time, and so it was myself, Oz, Tonto, OD, and Jack. That were the 5 remaining security guys, GRS team guys that were, don't want to say team guys, I wasn't a team special forces dude, I was just a 0311 grunt, that were over at the Benghazi in 9/11 2012 when the ambassador was killed and Sean Smith and Bub and Roan were killed. And I was actually deployed because I went back 2 more times after Benghazi. And Oz, he couldn't really deploy again, and then I think Tonto, he was just kind of done with it all. I think he might have went back, but I don't think he did. I think he was just kind of done. But anyways, they were kind of looking around and were kind of shopping for. I think they're starting to do. I think Tonto wrote the book, his part of the book when he was up on the roof, but that's an officer for you. Um, but they kind of reached out when I was actually over. I think it was my first trip over, and I was kind of thinking about it, but but we never actually sat down and actually talked. We didn't. I kind of, I talked with Oz a little bit because he lives here in Colorado. But the rest of us, we never, never really talked with Jack, never talked with Tonto or OD. Like I didn't never heard their side of the story ever, what they did, what they saw. We never did that. So how I did the book and like what Jack did, because Jack, he lives on one side of the country. I'm not gonna say where he lives. And then the same thing, Tonto lives like Nebraska area, and obviously myself and Oz, we live here, and then Boone or OD, he lives in Florida. So we're kind of spread across. And what we did, we just tape recorded what we saw and what we did, and we sent it to the author. That's how we did the book. So I think that it's probably one of the, again, I don't know how Black Hawk Down was done, but I think that was, I don't know if they talked those, because I think those guys, that book was kind of done the same way, or the movie. I don't know if they did a book, but that's how 13 Hours, the book was made, was written. It was just what we saw, what we did, and the author kind of took our stories and kind of meshed it together, and that's how it came about, But I think Tonto, kind of what the author said, Tonto's was like 10,000 hours of recording.
Oh wow!
And mine was like 2, but but that's really how the book came about. I think that's probably one of the most accurate ways you could do a book without us sitting there calling, "Oh, what'd you do? Okay, we'll say that." It wasn't like that. It was just record what you saw, what you did, and you send it in.
So when you read your own book,
I never did.
you never read it. Okay, that was. I only had 3 questions a day, and that one answered that fast.
So So when they sent that in, I never, because I've never done a book before, right?
Yeah.
I've never thought about the process. I did, school, the stuff in school. I hated even doing that. So the author, they kind of read this thing. You have to read the book. I was like, I'm not reading that thing. Like, well, you have to kind of verify. It's like, give me my big portions, the big chunks, and I'll read through that, and I'll kind of go through that. So they kind of gave my big chapters of it and stuff like that. And so me and the author, we kind of went back and forth a little bit to kind of help, square away some of the connections and things like that. So I've never really read through the full book.
Well, so my question was going to be because almost all my friends are military, law enforcement, SF, triple canopy, whatnot. These guys love to tell stories. So my question was going to be, when you read the book, were you surprised by things you learned from the guys, but you didn't read the book? So that kills you got to make him read his own book.
I know.
So were you guys?
Wait a second. Did you at least watch the movie? Did you watch the movie?
I watched it once. And the reason why I didn't really want to watch it is mainly because, they gave me the script, and reading the movie script, I've never read one before, and I started reading it. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? Because I think it opens up with like the gun running crap or something like that. I was like, what the hell are they talking about? I'm like going, this never happened, so I didn't read it. And then the next morning, I knew we were going to meet with Michael Bay, so we kind of ran down what happened. So that's kind of where I left it. And then Jack, he gets a hold of me, and this kind of a funny part. He said, "Hey, Tig, you're not up on the roof." Like, what do you mean? He said they left that out at all, and they're not going to show where they threw Ronan and Bub off the roof. Well, if they're not on the roof, they're not going to throw that part. You can tell them, pretty much F off. I don't want nothing to do with it. And so we said, okay, I'll let them know. So pretty much it started from the production, or who was it? Because the book, the guy, Hachette, I think, was the guys who did the book portion of it. And it started with them calling me. And I pretty much said the same thing. It went all the way up to the president of Paramount and called me. I told them all the same thing. F off. If I'm not on the roof and they don't show that you throw Ronan and Bub off the roof, because that's what happened. I'm not going to be part of promoting the movie at all. I mean, I won't bash it or anything like that, but I'm not going to be part of it. So that's kind of like, I didn't, I kind of knew, to me, it's not, it's not really a documentary, but it's just it ain't really how things happen. That's why I
Right.
didn't really want to watch it. So I watched it one time. I kind of sat through it, and I'm just like, this is bullcrap. That's not how it happened. This is bullcrap. That's not how. It happened. So that's how I see things. I see things for what it really is, and I'm just really black and white.
Sure.
That's not true. That's not true. Even though it kind of happened, but just that's not how it happened. So I hate that. So it's, I try to sit down and watch it again, and I just couldn't do it. I just turn it off.
So there's. Go ahead, Jared. Sorry.
Do you think that with all the embellishments and the deviations that Hollywood is pretty typical in taking and retelling stories like this, do you think that whenever they get their creative, really, it's, I think a lot of times just people being proud, thinking I can tell this story better, I can make it better. But do you think that if it would have actually just recounted what really happened, that it would have actually been a better movie?
I think so. I think it really would have. I think it would have been a lot better, but I think it would have been harder to follow. I really do, because it'd have been like I kind of picture it. Have been, they'd have had to do it kind of like the TV show 24, because so many different things were happening at so many different parts. So they kind of cut out the team leader and stuff like that, and they kind of mushed different parts together. So kind of like like Jack did a lot of things that I did in real life, because there were so many different parts moving. They kind of made it to where they had the bromance between Jack and Roan and stuff like that to kind of mesh that stuff to kind of give it, I guess, I don't know, better flow or something like that. So I kind of understand why they did the things they did, but like I got shot in the chest. Well, no, I got shot in the side. I didn't fall down the ground. Just certain things that they did in the movie kind of irritated me, and so. But I think if they would have portrayed it the way it really happened, I think it would have had a lot more effect on people than what they did, honestly. Because I think the reality of it would have been a lot more impactful.
So it was Dominic Famuso?
Yeah, he played my character.
How'd you feel about that?
I mean, again, I tried to watch it the best I could, but it seemed like he did a really good job for the crap that they gave him.
So you and Boone are sitting in the movie. You and Boone are sitting in the op center. There's a quick deal where you're looking at security cameras and you're looking at all the sheep. The line in the movie, Boone says, "Are the sheep humping?" You go, "I don't know. I don't know anything about sheep."
Yeah.
Did that happen?
So it really wasn't. So it wasn't. So again, it goes like it wasn't really Boone. It was me, and so they had two SPOs that were there. So they're like special police officers that actually are at the agency. So we had them there watching our camera. So we really couldn't tell if it was heads popping up, because I had actually shattered my night vision goggles, and even then, Oz, he had his down, and we still couldn't tell because they were just popping up and coming down. So when I went down and looked at the cameras, it was me and the SPO that were actually looking at it, and still you couldn't really tell if it was people or if it was sheep or not. But yeah, that's what it's like. I still could not tell.
But you said, "I don't know anything about sheep."
I don't know anything about sheep.
That's a great. That's actually one of my favorite lines in the movie. I don't know. I don't know anything about sheep. So were you two married at this time?
No.
Okay, so you guys met after
Yes.
everything occurred.
Oh yeah. Wait. We met in 23. So just
2023?
Yeah.
Yep, married for 14 years now.
Oh, stop it.
Oh my gosh, 14 years and 3 years.
That's what I should be saying.
That's perfect math. Spoken like a true
Common Core math.
true husband, loving husband. So your world. So both of you guys are running. Just to clarify, part of the reason you're here, you're running
Yes,
for office.
I am.
You're running for office.
Yeah.
2 separate offices,
Yes.
both in the Springs area. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Okay. You're running for House Rep, right? And your run for this. Do you find this was one of the questions? I'm sure you do. So he tells this story a lot.
Yes.
Because everybody wants
truth.
Because everyone, well, fine, but everybody wants to talk to you about the story. I want to talk to you about the relationship. I'm a big on relationship stuff.
Mike is a helpless romantic.
I am a helpless romantic. I'm
romantic.
sorry. I'm married. Look, I just celebrated my 32nd wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Been married 4 years.
Amen.
Feels like
That's
it's
amazing.
done this, right? And so she's my world, and I adore her. So how do your two worlds come together from the standpoint of Priscilla and John, husband and wife, with all the stuff you've gone through, how does that fit into your world? Do you find this easy to accept? Is it hard? Is it a challenge? Is it? I mean, Jana will sleep next to me, and I'll jump up out of bed from a nightmare every once in a while. Not very often, but I get night terrors. So she gets a byproduct of my past service.
Okay.
Do you experience any of that?
I think when I went into it, well, I've never been married before.
Okay.
So this is my first marriage. But I do have a daughter myself. I just knew, how do you say, I knew the person I was going to marry was going to be a person who was a patriot, somebody who loved God and country. I just knew that had to be in line because this is the country that the Lord has called me to serve. I wasn't going to be an evangelist anywhere else to another country. This is where I'm at.
And were you born here?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well,
And
kinda. Don't let her lie. She was born in California, so
That's
kinda.
so half American. Got
Half
it.
American.
stop.
That was a good one.
And so, yeah. So I just knew that he had to have a heart for God and for country. And I believe that the God was going to bring that man to me. And so when in 2023, that's when we met in February of 23, and that's when he launched his campaign for mayor. And because of the organization I work for, it's a faith-based. We do a lot of outreach, Truth and Liberty, and I do a lot of civic engagement with a lot of churches, community, and so on. And I attend a lot of political events. So it's kind of, we engage civically also. And that's how I met him
At an event?
at an event.
Okay.
And I didn't know anything about Benghazi at all, period. Like nada.
Hadn't seen 13 hours.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay.
People kept bringing up the name Benghazi. Have you heard? Nope. And pretty much, I see people as people. I'm no respecter of men. I don't care what level you are in society, or if you're down here, if you're the custodian, if you're the president of the United States, I see you the same. I see character. I see what's in the hearts of people, how people treat each other. And I really don't see titles in people. And when they're like, "Well, you got to see him," I was like, "He's just another guy, you know." And so I'm kind of like the middleman between, well, the middle woman between.
It's 2026. You can
I-
say what you want, apparently.
Right.
So
So I have a lot of churches and pastors that actually say, "Oh, Pricella, like we don't endorse or promote candidates, but because we're a ministry, they trust our opinion." And so that's is why I attend these events. Because they'll call me or they'll text me, especially when elections come around, like where do they stand morally, principle wise, that kind of thing. And his manager came, and I typically have about 10 questions, 10 moral standard questions for candidates. And the manager gave me a call and to sit down because, again, a lot of candidates at the time wanted to just sit down with me and say, "Hey, it's like we don't endorse, we don't promote," and they know because churches have numbers and those are voters. And you get them in front of a pastor, and that's what they want. And so I'm thinking like, oh, here we go. I was like, well, I will sit down with him and see where he's at, that kind of thing. Well, what surprised me about him, which I've sat down with many candidates, and some candidates answer, 6 questions morally, some 5, and you'll be surprised. No names, but he answered all 10 correctly. And I'm thinking, I know this man doesn't read I don't think he reads consistently the Bible. And I'm thinking, well, scripturally, Jeremiah and in Hebrews, it says that he writes the laws in our hearts and mind, right? In nature. But it's up to us if we choose to suppress that, right? And I'm thinking like, okay, I see it, Lord. It's like, this is actually, I see your word and like right in front of me.
Okay, so were you also having a little bit of butterfly thing
I
going
did.
on? All right, that's kind of what I wanted to.
I did. And that's when I was like, ding, 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 ding. I was like, okay, this guy is I was like, I wonder if he's married or is,
So you're checking multiple boxes.
I am
in
at
your
all
head,
at the same time.
on the paper.
On the paper. It's like, he looks pretty handsome.
Whoa.
And
He's got a dog.
yes, and I'm a dog lover. I said, and he's a Marine. He loves his country. He's a patriot. I mean, there's just, especially those, just answering that, and it just went back to the Old Testament, New Testament, and how human nature, we have these core foundational laws of nature that are in our hearts that human, the flesh tends to at times either reject or we suppress this. And this is what causes a lot of chaos in society, and like he just said, he's just black and white. It's right and wrong. And that's what I liked about him, that there's no middle ground with him. There's no compromise with him. There's no coming to the middle with him. And I can roll with that. And as to his past and stuff, this guy sleeps like no other. He doesn't twitch at night. And so I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, Lord, you even protected this man's mind, through it all and through the chaos and stuff. And yes, he has some sarcastic jokes sometimes, but I can deal with that.
I think a dry sense of humor is the best. So who asked who out?
He did.
Okay.
Yes, he did. Yeah. Yes, you did.
What's the other side of this for you? So you're sitting here getting this browbeating of 10 questions. You're telling the truth. You're doing your thing. Were you sitting? Did you have butterflies? Did you look at her and go,
Well, yeah, but I mean, I was running for the office kind of thing. I mean, I saw her. She was, obviously pretty hot and stuff like that. And
pretty hot.
She goes down this whole list of New
Morals.
Testament, Old
He's
Testament.
over here going, she's pretty hot.
Typical Marine.
Typical dude. Yeah.
I mean, we started talking about other things too, and about firearms. She started talking about firearms and training and stuff like that, and so we talked about after all that stuff, we talked about training, and so I said, well, we got classes, you can start doing some training here, and so she started taking some training. She was a member over at because we were at DCF Guns at the time.
Okay.
That's what I was. I was actually working at DC. That's where I did the launch party at and stuff. And so here comes the action. Here comes the truth. And so she canceled her membership at Magnum, and so she.
That is true.
And she started taking some training over at DCF Guns, and so I was doing some training with her. Then she came and said, "Well, the team at Karis Bible College wanted to meet with you, or Andrew Womack wanted to meet with you and probably do some extra training."
So this is the part.
This sounds like a clever ruse to me, but go ahead.
Exactly. So
you can't agree with him with that.
You did come onto a podcast with 3 dudes, and you're the only woman. So you're a little bit outnumbered.
And I know the angle he's playing already, so go ahead.
Keep going.
So it kind of she did the training for a couple of months and stuff like that, and then Andrew, and so they did come. So I think it was John came down, and he kind of met with him a couple times, and so it kind of went up, but no training. They never did any training with him. It was so weird.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all.
No, but they wanted to show me what type of training they were doing. So I was like, okay, no problem. I'll come up, do some stuff, but they never did. And then I think we met, and we actually, the first time we went, it was to the Red Dog Barbecue or something like that off of Centennial. But I forgot. But yeah,
Yeah, I was down.
that was the first place we went. I don't remember exactly who asked who to go where,
You
but that was.
asked me.
She
But-
remembers.
She remembers.
But I think we were going there to talk about the training thing.
Mm.
So, but no, it was so. But it was her. She was stalking me. It's kind of
Okay.
Okay.
How it went down to.
Okay.
See, this
And
is is why I asked this question, because I got stalked from the time I was 10.
Oh my gosh, what is it with you guys?
I got stalked from the time I was 10 by my wife at church camp. Every year at church camp. And then she
I'm not complaining about it.
No, I didn't complain when she asked me out. I didn't complain when she wanted to hold my hand, when she asked for the first kiss. I didn't complain about
does
any
she
of that.
have her own version also?
No, actually, she sat right in the chair you're sitting in
Yeah.
right there and agreed with every single
'Cause
word
she's
I said
honest.
because she's honest. She told the truth, except for the stalking part. She said
Somebody
she said,
has to come to your defense, Pricella.
I
I'm sure
know.
that he was hopelessly in love with you, and
He was.
he couldn't help
was.
himself.
So when we started dating, did she keep training? No.
It doesn't ever work,
that's
okay? You
true.
you got to understand that you cannot be in that role. I've seen it where guys on the mat try to bring their
Yeah.
wife, and they're trying to tell them what to do, and their wife's like, "Stop! I will listen to the coach." All right, it's very difficult to be that coach.
he's right.
in any
Yeah.
role, especially whenever it comes to something that men are as passionate about, like guns or martial arts. It's like,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't work. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. So I think you were wise in
See?
taking that step
Thank
back.
you. Thank you.
But she hasn't been back to training ever since.
Ever, yeah. Well, she
So-
trusts you.
Yeah,
She trusts
I
you, John.
do.
That's why. She knows you have her six.
Now she has a fierce protector.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, he sleeps with the thing.
We all do, Pricella. We all do. Well, thank you for sharing that, because there's a story, then there's a story, and I am a hopeless romantic. I'll admit it. My favorite all-time rom-com is The Proposal. I bet I've watched that 40 times with my wife, and we laugh every single time. It just stays funny. But I love my relationship, and so when I see a couple that's happy, I was like, no, what got you guys together?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's what it was.
That's
Those-
awesome.
Those 10 questions for me.
That's smart.
Well,
Starting with the important questions.
let's rapid fire politics for just a minute. So you're running. What House Rep district is it?
15.
15.
House-
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. I should have known that. How's your run going?
Right now, it's so the district is a pretty red district, very conservative Republican district. But right now, everybody calls it a safe seat, and that's something that bothers me because during the primary, so in 2024, when Scott Bottoms ran, there was the opponent, Democrat. The results in the primary, his results was about a little over 3,000, and Scott was a little over 8,000 votes. This time around, he did his due diligence and turning out the vote for the primary. I ended up still a little over 8,000 votes. He ends up with 7,300 votes. So he was only behind me about 1,000 votes. And but that has a lot to do also with the demographic change there in regards to there's more apartment complexes that just
A lot more.
were built, a lot of new people moving in. And also we got the DSA canvassing right now in El Paso County. And we got a conservative area right now just saying that it's safe. So they have pulled back and trying to help. So that's where we're a little struggling to get people motivated. It's like nothing is safe.
How many people do you have total that are eligible voters in your district?
63,000 total. That's including Democrats, unaffiliated, Republicans, all of
Okay.
it, libertarians, constitutionalists.
So you saw 15% of the vote turn out,
Yeah.
essentially.
So,
Sad.
yeah, it very, very sad. Um, and I don't know if it's just maybe the discouragement in regards to the Republican Party and the division that's happening right now, that they didn't turn out to vote as much. But yes, I would say now the seat is not as solid red as we thought it was. It's slightly pink.
Okay.
And if we don't get it together, and holding the seat moving forward, even if I do a few terms, whatever it may be, whatever the Lord tells me to do, then it's for the next one and for the next one. We have to hold those seats because, as we've seen from congressional seats to other House seats, they used to be safe seats, and you know now Democrats hold them. And so they will keep continuing to come after seats. And I think this is his third run for this seat. And he will continue to try to take that seat. And so, but that's where we're at right now. I think the seat is still winnable for this time around if we just turn out to vote, and that people are not discouraged just because of what's happening in media. I think that's a big part of it. I think we're not doing a good job as I think we really kick ourselves half of the time, in criticizing our own party, and criticizing. I mean, we're not perfect. We do have some great leaders that in the Republican, whether the House, the Senate, that are moving forward. And we just got to vote Republican all the way down. We really do. Because right now it's not about, we're up against something bigger. And our founders warned us about this progressive, socialist, communist stuff. And that that nobody was ever going to beat us in war, but if we don't get it together, the enemy's is within now.
Yeah.
And they're taking seats, and they want those seats of power.
Yeah.
And that's where we have to come together, because if they continue to move in that way, and this is where I just said earlier, is that we need leaders that are truly, if we don't have virtue and morality, and we continue to take that out even in the Republican Party, and we don't talk about that, and we call it taboo because we're wanting to get more votes, because that's really the foundation of this whole country. And we need leaders like that, that are virtuous and morally and founded in that, because if you don't have that, then you're willing to even compromise what the founding fathers entrusted us with. And this is why we've gotten so far, and this is why really the enemy has infiltrated our system of government. And this is why we have a socialist in CD1 running, and that she's going to end up in DC. She will, because that district wins, I think, about 20 to 30,000 votes. So how do we even get a Republican to even run against that? And so, and the division that's happening within the party is not a good thing.
Yeah.
And talking about each other is not a good thing either. But we need to start rising up a new generation again, like I said, and these moral principles, bringing them back to the foundation, or else we're not going to have a country. We need to go back to the original intent of what this country was built on. Um, if we want, I'm not even thinking about us right now as a generation. I'm thinking about the second, third, fourth generation to come, the ones that are not even born yet. I want to be 95 years old and seeing at least
I don't
that we're going to be okay.
If she's that old, what does that make you, John?
I don't want to be that old.
So yeah, I think there's still hope, because even if we're in this tough spot right now as a country and as a state, we've had it worse before, you know. If the founding fathers and during that time of Abraham Lincoln and all, we still made it through as a country, and those were some hard times.
Yeah.
Those were some really hard times, and um, and we need to protect the minds, especially right now, of our young men and our little boys, because that's really what the enemy's after.
Yeah.
And if we lose young men and little boys, because those are the strength of a country. And if we don't have that, there's no country.
Thank you for answering that. That's actually probably the best way I've heard it put in a long, long time. So thank you, one, for running for office, two, for your explanation of why. But I agree with you. Jared and I talk about this frequently, and I'll hand it back to him in a second. But I'm just calling it good versus evil now. There's no left versus right to me anymore. People can go by title and ticket, and I get all of that because we still have to have names. But it really is, to me, is just their spiritual warfare going on. This is why, in part, I was telling Jared that I was so excited to have you in, because I could sense not only your foundation, your belief, but knowing who you're married to and the legacy that he brings. I just, and so I watched something intentionally this morning. Got up about 4:30, slept about 2.5 hours. I woke up and I pulled up Hillary Clinton when she was testifying, and when she says, "What difference does it make now?" From the moment she said that, I've never been able to get that out of my head. We have got a vileness in this country that sits in the political offices, surrounded by security teams, making big decisions, looking really, really important, when they've actually never done anything. They've never done anything, except for that comment has just stuck with me. You're running for office, know your history and your legacy. Does that comment bother you?
So actually, I kind of did a post about that. When was, I don't know, about two. It's been recently. It's been a while. I do a lot of posts now. And again, I don't hold anything back. I'm very blunt, very straightforward. People, I get comments. You're running, you're running for office. You're trying to be a leader. You can't talk like that. Watch me, because I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm an American first. I'm a Marine second, and that's all I'm always gonna be. I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I really don't have a religion, because to me the Bible's not a religion. We put religion into the Bible. That's how I see it. But what difference does it make? It makes a huge difference.
Absolutely
It makes it. If you don't really know what the difference is, you can't fix the problem. And that's kind of what I said on it. I mean, it makes a big difference on why it happened, the purpose of it, what led up to it. It makes a huge difference. Just like Sarah just put a post out today, there's a refinery right now in Libya, to where one of the guys who launched the mortars that killed Ronan Bub, that's where he works. So the 3 guys that we got captured right now in the U.S. really didn't kill anyone. They didn't do it. 2 of them had no freaking really part in it. One of them was like number freaking 34. But then now you have one of the guys is actually part of the mortar team, which to me would be like one of the top 10. He works at a refinery and he's freaking walking free. And Sarah knows exactly who he is, knows his freaking name, knows where he works, but he's walking free. Right there, that's a difference.
Yeah.
So again, see what I'm saying? So So accountability to me is number one. So when people say, "Well, why are you running? What are you going to do?" It's accountability. We can sit there, you can talk about the budget, you can talk about homelessness, you can talk about freaking crime, you can talk about data centers, you can talk about all this bull crap that we've been talking about for the last freaking 30, 40 years, which has been a revolving door pretty much around across the freaking country. But if you don't have accountability with your representatives, they're not leaders. To me, there's only about maybe a handful of our representatives or public servants that are actually leaders. The rest of them, that's all they are. They're representatives and they're servants. But if you don't have accountability, if you can't hold these people accountable, nothing will ever change.
Yeah.
So to me, like when I ran the first time, again, I barely ran for 9 weeks. I put my name on the ballot in January. I had all this other stuff going on, so I didn't really even start running until maybe mid-February. Long shot. But anyways, accountability is where you start taking your power back as the citizens. Again, we the people. So you can actually start keeping track of your public servants, your representatives' record, and start showing like what are they doing, how they doing, how you can actually hold them accountable. I'm not gonna say how I'm gonna do it because I want to give these other people, I'm gonna call them seat jumpers, that are actually gonna start running for office. Because a lot of these people, that's what they're doing. They'll run for a seat. They'll go from that one, go to the next one. And if they lose, they'll go to the next one. If they lose, they go to the next one. Why would you want to keep electing the people that keep going from seat to seat to seat to seat? Do your job. Go do something else. Let somebody else come with other ideas. If you couldn't fix what you're doing already, or if you didn't make a huge impact once, what makes you think you're going to do it again somewhere else? Then you got, if you got somebody that's on city council, if your city's already crappy, why are you going to elect somebody from city council to go and do something else? Or are you going to get somebody that's, was mayor, that's going to be reelected as mayor, or go from mayor to go something else? If that city was crap, why are you going to elect them to go I just don't understand why people keep doing that. Or you're going to elect somebody who's got a perfect silver tongue. I ain't got no silver tongue. My speech, again, it's very blunt. I'm not going to change who I am. Again, like a lot of her problem, like with my wife's seat, she won't really say it, but when Scott Bottoms came out and said, I'm not going to support or vote for Victor if he wins, that hurt her a lot because we supported Scott. But again, just because we support the candidate doesn't mean we support everything that he says and does. That's the other thing. So a lot of people pulled back away from her, just like me. A lot of people, because I supported him, they pulled their support away from me because I'm running for mayor. Again, you people are freaking stupid. I'm going to say it straight up. You guys are freaking dumb. Just because we support somebody, that's just who we supported. I supported Scott because he stood up for the people of Colorado during the time of COVID and all that other stuff. That's why I supported him. I didn't see Victor come to our help during that time. That's why I supported him. Now I'm supporting Victor. Now people are saying, well, I'm not going to support you because now you're supporting Victor because of all the bull crap that Darcy lady freaking. Anyways, I got a lot of words to say about that. So
you got anything to speak into that later, Jared?
But you see what I'm saying? People are ignorant when it comes to a lot of this stuff. And I'm going to say, because again, like I said, I'm very blunt and straightforward. I'm straight black and white. People want change, but then when change actually comes and sits in their face, they don't want it. They run away from it. It just makes no freaking sense. If you're gonna bring up opinions and accusations, you better bring up the true freaking facts. You better bring up the paperwork to back it up. I get attacked a lot on social media, especially now with the Victor stuff. And I'm like, show me where it is. Don't just bring your stupid opinions and someone else's freaking opinions and statements that they put on social media. Show me the freaking paperwork to actually back it up. If they're doing this, show me the crime where they put it. Why isn't this person in jail? Where's the backup to your freaking accusation? Where is it? It's not. I don't want your stupid opinion. And the problem is you're spreading this false accusation. You're going to allow these freaking socialist communism to take over a freaking nation because of an opinion. Then you're going to start losing. You're going to allow the same freaking people to destroy his freaking city because of an opinion versus having somebody who's actually going to bring true change and accountability to a city so we can actually bring our city back and bring it, again, just accountability. It just makes no freaking sense. I knew we had a lot of problems, especially the first time I ran, and but seeing the stuff that she's getting hit with by people from our own party, you have this whole establishment, you have this whole I don't know, what would you call the I don't know, the green, what the, you have the establishment, you have
They
the
call them
the
rhinos.
rhinos, and then the
Grassroots.
grassroots and stuff. Is like this whole infighting stuff. It's destroying everything. It really is. It makes no freaking sense to me. It really doesn't. Because again,
And
I'm
what I
just
don't understand about all three groups, for the most part, we stand on the main core values.
But-
Most of us really stand on, life, guns, um, those main core. We might disagree on some of the things, but I think also what's well, there's a lot of knowledge, a lot of head knowledge, but there's a lot of leaders lacking wisdom. That's what's a lot lacking right now. They can spit out a lot of knowledge like it's a rap song, but I don't think they process things. But yeah, I think that's what I've noticed is that there's no wisdom right now, like true wisdom.
it's like a lot of people, what I see is like they attack Victor a lot of times because I don't know, it's they can't see how do I say it to this one guy, because he just kept coming and coming. It's like, dude, I don't know what he's like. You're projecting something on him that's part of that's your problem. He's like, you can't see that somebody went through the things that he went through because you didn't, or you know what I'm saying? It's like, or you went through something, but he went through something that's worse. So you know what I'm saying? It just makes no freaking sense. Like, because you didn't have this childhood trauma or something, so he couldn't have this trauma. You know what I'm saying? It's like, do you realize people have even went through worse crap than even he did? You know what I'm saying? It's like, so you can't believe that this could have happened. Like an adult or a parent couldn't have did those things or forced him to do those things. That happens more often than not. It really does. So, but then people come and they want to tear that down. But then when you do that, again, you spend more energy attacking him and trying to expose that and say, as truth versus going against the socialist communism that's rising up through just Colorado alone, and you're letting it win. It makes no freaking sense. Then you're tearing down the ones who actually truly want to make a difference and make this state and cities and counties and districts better. It just makes no freaking sense. And that is the biggest problem within the Republican conservative movement. It just makes no sense. I don't even say it, like even sometimes the young Republicans are going against the conservative and Republican movement, and will tell people, don't support this candidate, come and support this candidate. Don't help this candidate, go help this candidate instead. It's freaking ridiculous. When you have people helping this one and never tell them don't do that one, go do this one, it's detrimental to the movement itself and to that person itself. Again, I got no problem. I'll call anyone out. I do not care because it doesn't help anyone when you're doing that stuff, and it's happened all over the place, and I don't like it, and it's bullcrap.
And it goes back to that. I think when we don't have our face in the good book, we can lose focus and start worshiping a party more than start actually worshiping the ultimate creator, right? And it's really a spiritual warfare. The enemy has entered the camp of the Republicans,
Big time.
and meaning spiritually, right? And we have brought war within each other when we're really, I mean, maybe certain people are at different levels of their belief, but and I believe everybody's within. I'm hoping the candidates that are Republican. I'm pretty sure most of them are saved, but they're just probably in different seasons in their beliefs. Some are more discipled. Some are maybe are not fully. I have an associate's in biblical studies and stuff, and did that, and not saying that I'm, there with Jesus kind of thing, but still have a lot to grow also in all of that. But the thing is that it's a spiritual warfare, and the enemy will come to anybody that's not in the word daily, right? That foundation. You'll get attacked up here, you'll get attacked up in here. You'll start worshiping the wrong things, you'll start worshiping the seed, you'll start attacking each other, and I believe that's kind of what's happening. So, as for me, obviously he gets really upset and stuff in regards because he's passionate and he's just a protector at nature, and so for me, I'm gracious. I understand where they're at. It's like, okay, that's still my sister and brother in Christ. And so that's where grace and mercy comes out of me, where I'm like, okay, they're still better than wiser up there, where I don't know if he's even saved, or because you can see their actions in regards to policies and these demonic really policies that they're signing. Well, not him, he's not a legislator, but that they're for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And or you see even just legislators that are Democrats signing off on policies that you think against children. You're thinking like, oh my gosh, like how does this even make sense? These immoral laws against our kids, especially those irreversible surgeries. It's like that's, you can't bring a child back from that, right? Ever, and they're gonna live with that for the rest of their lives. And so, like, how do you even process that? So that there, and that's how I see it. I think it's a spiritual warfare right now that's happening within us all in the body of Christ. That's what I'm seeing, and that's where there is a few of us that, and I always tell, we can't be Pharisees and shooting each other. Lord, look at that, you're doing that, you're doing this. We end up turning just because we know a little bit more of the counsel of God, or we read the full counsel of God, and we start becoming Pharisees within each other, and calling each other out. It's like, why don't you go and minister to your sister or brother in Christ instead of just posting something on Facebook and calling them out? I think we need to be more gracious with each other. And that's biblical. If you have an offense with a brother or sister in Christ, call them.
Matthew 18.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call them. Don't just be posting or criticizing somebody, because I think people have discernment if they are believers, at least a believer in Christ. They might not be perfect. But yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. I don't do any of the attacking. If I see something bothers me, there's one person that has done something, but I'm waiting till I see him in person to talk to him and ask him,
Yeah, she's asked me to leave him alone.
I said,
Thanks for clarifying.
Jared's probably just itching to ask like 27 questions right now.
I
I'm going
know.
to be trying my best to just stay on real focus here.
Yeah.
But I love the approach that both of you are taking, because on this show, we have interviewed thrice over Victor Marks. We've done it. We interviewed Scott Bottoms twice, Barb twice, and now we've had Greg Lopez twice. And since the beginning, we have echoed diplomacy because of wanting to be able to look back on everything, all the interviews, everything, and be able to say that we did everything we could to make peace, to be peacemakers. And that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm hearing whenever you both have spoken about the infighting within the Republican Party. Where it has gone wrong is Matthew 5 verses 3 through 13 when it's talking about the Beatitudes.
Yep.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, meek. Well, if you read through all of the Beatitudes, it gets to peacemaker, and they're in order for a reason, because verse 13 says that we're supposed to be salt. And so it's giving us this blueprint of all these Beatitudes is what makes us have the flavor that the world needs.
Yeah.
But it's in order, and it gets to peacemaker right before it's persecuted, faithful in persecution. But it's so it's telling us how to be salt, and then it's telling us, okay, now here's the moment to start shaking the salt. Whenever it's saying peacemakers, that means that we make peace, that we are able to do that. We take that Beatitudes that we've been able to have through Jesus, his teachings, his spirit.
I think
Yeah.
the biggest problem is people don't tell the truth, and they hide it. And again, that's why, maybe that's why I don't hide anything. I'm very straightforward. Because the thing is, you can't fix things when you hide it. That's the biggest problem that I've seen. Because people are like, oh no, I've seen just within this one, people they'll try to like sweep some of the stuff underneath the rug. Bull crap. Put it out there. Let everyone know truly what is actually happening, especially within this freaking party, so you can fix actually what is happening. Get rid of this freaking poison and be done with it. Regardless if you like Joe Altman or not, at least he was trying to actually expose it and throw it out there. I think he actually did a lot of good for the party, because he's very straightforward. He'd have fried a lot of people for it, because again, that's the type of personality he is. I mean, I haven't known him for a long time, but he likes to fry people.
Well, he says, I've never met a fight I didn't like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and again, he hates the lies. He really does. He tries to expose them. Again, from when I've known him, again, I don't know him, I know him just about as kind of much as majority of us do. I mean, I know him a little bit more than probably a lot of people, but that's how I am. If you know something, somebody says no, that's not true. This is actually how it is. Just kind of like like she wouldn't say like I know that Scott Bottoms, when he said I won't support she's running in Scott's district, it hurt her.
Yeah.
She's not going to say that, but I will, because it's true. But her voters need to know, like, that's not who she is. That's who, just because she supported him, that doesn't mean that she has the same views. And her supporters need to know that. It hurts her, and it's going to help that socialist that's running against her. He's like, do you want your district to go that way? So you people, it's up to her, people in her district to get out and actually help her freaking win. Otherwise, you're going to lose that district to a freaking socialist.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? People say you're angry. No, I'm passionate. You're going to lose a red. Again, the GOP is out there saying it's a strong red district. Don't worry about it. It's freaking. They've been saying it. We've been out there doing it. Me and her have been out there doing it, trying to get her other volunteers, but they won't do it because the GOP keeps saying it is a strong. Don't worry about it. You're going to win. Bull crap. Stop freaking saying that.
Yeah.
It's freaking stupid.
Well, you and I are on the same page unequivocally on when it comes to accountability. It's something that I have said on this podcast I don't know how many times, and Jared and I have had conversations. We've had debates. I mean, loving, healthy, wonderful stuff. I've had other people come on and talk about forgiveness and grace. Shana and I have been working through forgiveness and grace. I just watched the Sean Ryan episode with Josh Howerton. If you haven't seen it, episode 327, epic. Absolutely the best 3 hours I've spent in a long time on loving your enemy, forgiveness, but also accountability and standing up against evil, on and on and on and on. And then I'm big on accountability. I got fired up over this because somebody said to me the other day, said, dude, I'll tell the truth. I'll stand in the face of it. So, you got to learn to let go and forgive. And I said, look, here's the deal. I've wrestled with this. God and I have talked a lot about this. To me, it's not a matter of forgiveness. If you don't have accountability, I can let go of something and never speak to you again. I can let go of something and never trust you again. Like, that's not what I'm not talking about walking away from somebody because they're a jackhole. I'm talking about if we're going to remain friends or we're going to remain alliance or we're going to do business. If I can't trust you in accountability and I have to keep going to grace to give forgiveness because you won't be accountable, then I'm an idiot. It's not the other way around. I'm the problem in that scenario. And I'll stand on that all day long because I keep accepting that thing
that you keep doing. Yep.
So until you're willing to look in the mirror and be accountable or shake my hand and say, I'm sorry, I won't do that again, and vice versa, then all I'm doing, I'm not extending grace. What I'm extending is I'm extending something for you to perpetuate the problem. And that's what bothers me in this. And this is why I go to accountability. And sorry, I get fired up on this, but I get so irritated because I had the same problem with Victor. I looked him dead in the eye. I'm like, dude, I do not believe for a second you cut the head off of a cat as a 3-year-old. And then I listened to him tell a story the other day. He's like, my dad put his hand on top of my hand and we cut through. He was on Piers Morgan. I'm like, well, you never said that before. You said you did that. I'm like, there's no way a 3-year-old can do that. I don't believe that for a second. Logistically, I don't believe it. But when he came out and he said that, I was like, oh, well, that's totally different. That's 2 different stories. It's the same story, but it's told 2 different ways. If you had just said, because I heard you say it 47 times, that's what was driving me crazy about Victor proper, is the story's big. And I'm going, well, wait a second. I know 3-year-olds don't even have the dexterity to do something like that. That's not the same thing as being forced to do it and held down. That's a level of abuse that I defended him on this podcast. And every video I've made, I've defended him on child abuse. Nobody gets to nobody gets to question your child abuse.
Yep.
They might question your story, depending on how you told it. Yeah. But nobody gets to question whether or not you were abused. And that I mean, I went through a lot as a kid. Nobody gets to tell me I didn't go through that. But how I explain it, that's a different story. And that's what I said to him. I said, man to man. I looked him in the eye. I said, look, man, I love you. I love being around you. But the stories are big.
Well, God, even through the Bible and even through this nation, he used imperfect people to do great things through. There has not been one perfect person besides Jesus Christ within the Bible or or in this nation.
I was really liking this conversation, and now I'm questioning.
I know.
Tick just levitated right up out of the chair.
But he did not use one perfect person to do great things through in this nation, And so, and that's where I say, it's like, okay, we're acting like a bunch of Pharisees right now, and, half of us are acting like a bunch of Pharisees.
Well, speak into this for a second, because I know you were going down a road, but talk about, and you used yesterday as an example. You brought the point up a handful of times, and I think it was good. But isn't about
you
this.
You said that I hammered him. I don't know.
I
thought I was being nice.
No, you weren't being nice. You hammered him on the point. The point of the separation is that the infighting is causing and splitting the vote. No, you hammered him in the right way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't want to go on a monologue or anything, but I will say that what I'm seeing in the Republican Party is a house divided against itself can't stand. That's exactly where we're at. Yep. And the point that I was getting to in talking about salt is that we have this blueprint of what salt looks like in us being salt and how to be it, how to share it with the world. Yep. And it's making peace after we've gotten the first steps right in the Beatitudes. And that's missing big time. People are not trying to make peace. Instead, they're trying to make war.
Yeah.
The warning that Jesus gave us is that if salt loses its savor, it's going to be trodden upon. It's going to be discarded. It's going to be destroyed. And that's where I think the Republican Party is right now. We're facing those consequences. And then we have conversations with people like you, and I'm like, okay, there's hope. Because there can be people like you two that can be those catalysts that bring the savor back to the party, to get it on track, to make peace, and to get people reminded that this is bigger than ourselves. Nobody's ever going to be perfect, but we have to be able to put our swords down, and we have to be able to move forward on the same page. The conversation with Greg Lopez yesterday, I have said since the very beginning that I'm disappointed with Greg Lopez running as an independent. I don't think that there's a single chance, period, that he can win this thing.
I agree.
And I don't have any problem with telling him that to his face. I was kind, and I did my best to make peace. I asked him the question yesterday. The episode's not even released yet. But I asked him the question yesterday, right now, do you think that you are the person to be able to unite the Democrats, the independents, and the Democrats? He said yes. Directly after that, I asked him, would you be willing to have a conversation with Victor Marx about working together? He said no. And I mean, that's what that at the end of the day, we continued down the conversation because he said Victor's beyond help. He said Victor is you can't talk to him. He doesn't know anything about politics or the government. I said, do you think you could have a conversation and help him with understanding this? He said no. And I said, well, at that point right there, whenever you're not even willing to talk to people, it's already lost. There's no chance. I think that with Greg running and Victor running, we have a huge need for a miracle for there to be any hope in the governor's seat here in Colorado. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know if we can at least unite over saying what's bad is bad, maybe that's what we need to get back to. Just being able to focus on, hey, this is Phil Weiser. You heard of this guy? This is what he wants to do in our state. We need to focus on this. As long as we get somebody in other than him, it kind of needs to be like Trump and Hillary and Trump and Kamala, where people are just like, well, we know we can't have this. We know that we can't have Phil Weiser. So we got to be able to make sure he doesn't get in.
But that's the sad thing. They're not doing that. There's like Victor, Victor, Victor.
So let me ask you a question in regards to that. I was hesitant to do this, but I think this is actually the perfect time. So he did an exceptional job yesterday. He and I said you went at him.
Are you assuming his gender, or did he already tell you?
What?
Are you assuming
Thank
his
you for
gender,
defending
or
me, John.
did he already
I
tell you?
appreciate it. You can proceed with the
Is this
pronoun
because-
he.
Is this
Actually, I prefer the goat. That'd be good.
to go? I thought you were mocking his Jeep. I'll be honest with you. I really thought you were going to the pink Jeep. But it's
Now I am insulted.
now you are insulted. He would kill us all on the mat, so I have to be careful.
I don't know, man. John Tiegen here. I don't know.
If I can have my tools, I'll go to battle with anyone.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, speaking of which, I do have a kill-death ratio in our promotion: 7 kills and 0 deaths. That's with 4 gun kills and 3 knife kills. So I don't know if you've seen that or not. Maybe we talk about that in a little bit. But Mike is trying to make an important point.
That was actually pretty important because you are 7-0 with 7 deaths on the. This actually, I think this is important. And I don't want to make this episode, unless you guys want to make this episode about Victor Marks, but this is, I think it's hugely important right now. And followed Victor, met Victor, had Victor do the gun strip down here when we did one of we did JWI, Jared's Invitational, Jared Wayne Invitational. Never felt him take it out of my hand. It was awesome. I've done it real time, 4 times in real life. 2 suicides. 1 guy tried to kill me in a domestic. No, it works. That's fun. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed the conversation with him. Hung out with him. I've enjoyed him. I've said from minute one of the nicest guys I've ever met. Shakes your hand, looks you in the eye, talks to you. I had a couple questions about some fantastical stories that he's told for sure, and I will never apologize for that. I'm like, your freaking stories, you told him. I'm going to ask questions. Here's where I think we're stuck right now. And this is my take. And this is a 30,000-foot view kind of coming down a little bit. We've had the opportunity to interview, I don't know, 30 people up here on the wall. All of them, most of them running for office of some sort. Victor's the only one that's telling the stories. Everybody else is doing their own thing. I think there's a correlation with the Charlie Kirk assassination. So we're coming up on that anniversary. The Victor relationship with the Kirk family, whatever that may be or may not be, is not mine to ask, but because it's sitting out there, then there's these big stories, and he's been telling this through the lens of his personal life, what he's been doing in his real life. And then he comes over and he runs for office. So you take these big stories over here, and now people are asking questions. And, there's been interviews, the Candace thing, all of this stuff. I think what has happened, this is me, is I think people are saying, but is it real? And it's not, I don't get the feeling, when I talk to people, I don't get the feeling, nobody's ever said to me, I don't like Victor, I don't want to get behind him. I'm just questioning the authenticity of something. And so now what it feels like is people have pulled back because of that. I don't want to say is Victor to blame, but I mean, it's his story. So at the end of the day, when he's sharing these things that seem bigger than life, and people are having a hard time buying it, or they don't know whether to believe it or not, and then you got everybody going, well, you guys are dividing the party. Did he help perpetuate some of that in your mind? Did he drive that? So is some of the division, does it fall back because he's on this to where people are not questioning it?
Well, he knows him a little bit more than I do. I've only met him twice.
Well, he's an accountability guy and a truth seeker. So I look at it through the lens of,
I would kind of say, yes, because he should have came out when people were questioning. He should have came, because I told him, like, hey, early on, I said, dude, you need to start answering these people's questions.
And he wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't do it. So
That's right.
I would say yes, because it is an accountability issue. And he kind of said, well, I would sit down and I'll have coffee with you. I was like, it's not me. I don't need you to answer to me. It's everyone else you have to answer to. And that's kind of where I left it at.
Well, Sean Ryan's podcast, I don't know the number, but I'm sure it got millions of views when he was on there. Though that's, I
mean,
think people
there.
go back and they see it and they go, well, this sounds awesome. He sounds like a modern day,
I think for me it's just that he didn't come out to get to know us, like, out into who we are as leaders, out to, and
Well, it's kind of like
I'm more relational, right? I want to go meet who are the leaders, who's the community. When they're telling me don't go canvas, no, I want to go meet who's living in this house district, and so that also kind of is like a red flag for me. It's when if you're seeking something like that, you're gonna want to go meet people who are these other leaders within El Paso County. Who are they? And not waiting for I don't know. And so that's it. Just yeah. If you want that high of a seat, you want to reach out. This is who I am.
I
I
think
want to
some,
come and get to know you. This is who I am, answer any questions. And I think when you start avoiding people, what do you have to hide then?
So
where
go-
I
so
think
go
it's where
with it.
she's kind of getting at is kind of like, so I'll kind of go back to where
Yeah.
the state assembly, whatever it was down there in Pueblo.
that's where I was just going to go.
So I'm gonna say he kind of hid up. Maybe it's the wrong word, but he stayed up in his little suite. When he walked around the major security team. It's like, dude, you're at the state assembly.
Yep.
You don't need the security team. You don't need to be pushing people out of the way. She got pushed out of the way.
Yep.
It's kind of like that's not the right. I mean, these are all delegates. There's
Right.
no reason to have. You should be walking around kind of by yourself, and it would have been just fine.
Yes.
There was no reason for that enchilada.
Well, the
that
state
thing that you
assembly
had.
is like the
That's
community statewide.
Yeah.
It's the patriots, the
And plus,
people of
people were
Colorado.
scanned when they went in there.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
know.
So I'm glad you said that because that's exactly where I was going to look. And I'm going to, I'll
And
say,
I called him out when I went out there, too.
I did too because he actually came over to me in the line. So look, I'm saying this to help Victor right now. I'm going to vote for him. I will pledge the support to my country. I'm not supporting a presidency. I'm supporting my country, right? And I look at it. Say again.
Governorship.
No. I meant presidency. I don't look at Donald Trump and Donald Trump's running. I look at that's an institution. I support the United States of America, and I want from the president on down. I want my country protected. I want it taken care of. I want patriots to stand on the front line. My daughter just sailed to Tripoli back from the Straits of Hormuz after 7 months over there to come back into Japan. And I'm thanking the good Lord above. She's home safe, and everybody in the Tripoli's home safe. Right. This is what we do as parents when our kids serve, and so. I want somebody that's going to serve honorably in the Gold Dome up there. The thing, you hit it. The reason this bothers me, and there's so much divisiveness, Victor, I want to say straight in the camera, you blew it. You freaking blew it. And here's how you blew it. You went to the state assembly. I stood there with Joe Altman. We walked up and down the line. Joe was shaking hands with everybody, talking to everybody he could. Victor walked around with an entourage, never shook hands with anybody. Scott Bottoms worked that crowd, talked to the crowd. I listened to conversations he was having. He came over to me 4 or 5 times. Teddy Collins walked. I mean, everybody's doing their thing. I mean, half the names on this wall were at that assembly, and I had conversations with all of them multiple times. You know who I never talked to? But one time, Victor. Now, in all fairness, Victor approached me, parted the seas, left his entourage, came over, shook my hand. He shook Joe Altman's hand. Joe can't stand him. He looked at Joe and he said, hey, will we be able to work together if we both win our respective seats? And Joe said, you better believe. I got your back. That statement right there says it all because Joe's probably his least favorite fan. I think that is, to Pricella's point, you're not out with the people. You're out. You're up in a safety net. You're surrounded by a bubble. You're walking around. You're waving at people, but you're not with the people. I think that sent a message. So you got these fantastical stories, and then you talk about your trauma, which everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrific." So it becomes very personal. And then you make an announcement at a memorial for Charlie Kirk 4 days after he's dead. Everybody cheers you on. That feels personal. And then you come out here and you separate yourself from everybody. And then you won't debate. Then you won't talk to anybody. I mean, he was gracious enough to come on the podcast, and I appreciated it very much. But I sit back and I look at it and I go, that's the leader of Colorado. You got to be part of that for the people. And I think that's where he's made a crucial mistake.
Yep.
And I think it's split the party. I think he, in his own way, as much as Greg said, and Jared did, he was masterful yesterday when he asked the questions. I wish Greg had said I would work with him. You better believe I would work with him, but he didn't. Scott, I won't support him. And I think people are bent because, in part, I'm not putting it all on Victor, but I think the way he carried himself and he treated it, he started this problem.
Yep.
And now he wants everybody to get on board. And I'm sick and tired of looking at these pages where everybody's like, if you vote for this guy and not for Victor, I'm like, well, he kind of caused the problem. He went out and created a lot of this, and now he wants everybody to jump on the bandwagon with him.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm going to push back. That, to me, is where the accountability comes in. You got to be accountable for your actions.
Yep.
I'm off my soapbox.
Can I just say this so that way we can be
No.
done with Victor? I just want to be.
No.
I want to move on and talk about more a little bit because we're already.
Well, we are. This is a big deal to the party, though.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a huge deal to the party, but it can be summarized very simply by saying that the media has done an incredible job at smearing Victor, and Victor has done a horrible job at defending his name. That's the truth. He's
Yeah.
not done a good job defending himself, explaining himself. We had an episode with Victor just responding to Candace. It's our top episode. It went pretty gangbusters. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was a very popular episode, and he did a decent job, I thought. I will say all of my interactions with Victor, all of mine. I have different stories and a different viewpoint than Micah when it comes to Victor. I have been impressed by him. He's been a good person to me. He has treated me well. The time that I've spent with him, I've been very impressed. The ways that I've seen him treat other people, I have not felt like I've had other people that don't know him, haven't interacted with him, come and say, you should be careful. You hear what's going around in the news. You hear
Oh, I
what's
know.
going. And I'm like, every time that I've ever been in the room with him, it doesn't seem like to me that he's got any intentions other than he just wants to be there for people. And I have a different synapses from that, a different experience on myself. But he has spent time with me, and he's even spent time with my wife and myself, and him and his wife together, where we've been able to have breakfast, have conversations that he didn't have to. He didn't owe me anything. I'm just a young dude in Castle Rock that's just got questions and cares about my state and I just want to have conversations and do what I can to help push this and push the state in a better direction. But I will defend that he has shown me in all my experiences with him good moral character, and he has tried, but I think he's got a little bit of this old man stubbornness. He hasn't had to be accountable to these questions before, and
Like
being
that,
in
the
this
old man
public
stubborn.
spectacle, he's having to, I think, learn in real time how to make adjustments and how to actually be accountable and get people to where they're united. And I think he's having to figure out what it means to make peace in this role, in this campaign that he's running. And I hope that he figures out how to do a better job of it, because we only have a couple months left. And that's what I'd say on Victor. That would be my piece. I do think that he would have good intentions going into the seat and being the governor of Colorado. Is he a perfect person? Absolutely not. Nobody is. You said it so well. Nobody's going to be perfect.
He's better than Phil.
Way better than Phil.
Way better
And
than
I
Phil.
think I gotta give it to him. He did
Plus,
make a good
he's got the
choice.
Marine Colonel.
Yes, the
Oh, on Marker, you mean? Yeah.
I think he made a good choice with the colonel, the Marine.
I mean, I would have
Agreed.
been better,
The other
but
one.
whatever.
You what?
But to your point with the salt, the salt preserves also, and that's what we need to be. When everybody likes to be the light, but salt is a preservation of things, and we need to preserve those principles, because I like what you said. When if we don't do that, then really we're worthless to the Lord, and if we're not preserving what was entrusted with us, then we're just worthless. We are, because it says we're nothing. We're nothing really to Him if we're not preserving. We just can't be just that. They go hand in hand, light and salt. And if we're just wanting to be the light and we're not preserving, then we're just nothing, and we're nothing in His eyes.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so you said so you didn't read the book, and you saw the movie once. These things didn't happen. For those of us that watched this unfold, so I watched Benghazi unfold essentially live, outside in, the time frame. Then the movie comes out. I watched the movie. I didn't watch it from an entertainment value. I watched it from a storytelling. You said it's not all accurate. There's pieces here and there. Is there anything that's blatantly inaccurate in the movie, like flamboyantly, all Hollywood, totally not true, that would almost make you mad that they did it?
I don't think so. Like the gun running stuff in the beginning, I don't think any of that's true.
That you lost the what's it called?
Oh
the
yeah, well I
grenade.
didn't lose the grenade launcher.
You would never.
Did Tonto run in shorts?
Yeah,
Okay, so that was true.
That was
All right,
true.
so the sheep thing is true. Shorts are true.
yeah. The gun, the grenade launcher is not true. I mean, no, I mean a lot of it. Again, a lot of it's accurate. It just it didn't happen the way they portrayed it in the movie. You know, like I think like the gun running thing. Again, I really don't know. I really
Did
don't
they
care.
sure in the part where you say that Oz was like with his arm?
Yeah, playing with it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
that was
like,
true.
Hey,
Okay.
Tig,
So
this
so
is-"
like his arm, if I'm trying to remember, like when I remember when I was seeing that his arm didn't look like that. That's how Dave Ubin actually looked.
He was in bad shape.
He was in very bad
yeah,
shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would again the movie. Yeah, I would say it was still pretty accurate. It really was.
Okay. Because Michael Bay's known for some pretty flamboyant, blow 'em up type
Yeah,
stuff,
so
but
there-
this is more of a
Yeah,
docu story.
Yeah, I mean, so like what was it? The bus, like a bus of people showed up.
Uh huh.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Okay.
So it was more like a car. It was like it was a. It's kind of like a parking lot. So a bunch of vehicles showed up. It wasn't a bus load. It was like a vehicle. Vehicles showed up individually, and they got out of the vehicle. If I remember.
And you were on the other side of
we were-
Zombie Land.
Yeah, we were in the CIA compound.
Okay.
So it was like a parking lot. It was about I would say 200 yards away or something like that, if I remember correctly. And that's where they kind of parked, and they were getting out again. We were trying to figure out who are these people. Like, is this 17 Feb? Is this the local police? You know, and they didn't. It wasn't like an open field. They had like a bunch of cover. Yeah, I'll make sure I get this right. So they had like a bunch of cover they could kind of move up through. It wasn't just wide open. Again, we didn't know who they were. We were trying to figure out exactly, was it, who were these people? So we couldn't just start shooting at them. People was like, why did you start shooting? Because again, if it was the police or somebody else, we started shooting at them, then we are fighting the whole freaking city. So that's why we didn't start shooting at them. So again, no buses exploded, anything like that.
Okay.
That was the whole Michael Bay thing. And,
Okay.
and so people know, if you shoot something with a grenade, it's not a big ball of flame either. It's just an explosion, not a ball of flame. Trying to see what else I remember from it. That's kind of.
While we're on this,
Well-
I have another pivot question here. Actually, a couple questions. These would be a little bit more just rapid fire to just answer, because I think that a lot of people,
yes.
I think a lot of people would be listening to this, and there's a lot of civilians. There's probably some military and some law enforcement as well. But what was it like? I mean, how many years were you in service?
Just 4 years.
Was this like one of your first intense combat? Okay, this wasn't. Okay, what was it like? What's these emotions, these feelings like? Is it whenever you get that call, you're going into this zone, you're going into help. You get the call, you're going to Benghazi, and you and your unit are going over there.
I was already in Benghazi.
You were already there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys were a few miles away, right?
There was a response team too, right?
Yeah,
That was the
they
end of
came
the
from,
movie.
They came from
Okay.
Tripoli.
Gotcha. So you're there. Stuff starts to hit the fan.
So
what is the emotions, the feelings? What is it like? I mean, I know that you've got the training that
So
you
when
go
you
through.
get the call, I mean, you're just like, okay, let's go. So you're just like, okay, they're under attack. So they just kind of ran back, told Jack, we got our gear on. Right now, I'm just kind of thinking, okay, I'm trying to remember the State Department compound, where the buildings are, the layout, trying to remember the inside of the buildings as much as I can. Because I've been in there quite a bit, because I've been over there, this is my fourth trip, I want to remember now, in Benghazi itself. So now, I've never been into like the 17 Feb barracks or anything like that, but I've been into the main villa. I've been into like the other two quarters. So the three main buildings I've been in. So I was trying to remember, I'm trying to remember like their layout, the footprint of the compound and stuff as I'm getting my gear on and stuff like that. Now in the vehicle, sitting there like going through all the weapons checks and stuff like that. This is when I should have put the grenade launcher actually on. So one of my biggest failures I go through my head is like I should have attached the grenade launcher back onto the weapon. But at the time, I'm kind of thinking we're just kind of going through things. But I'm just kind of doing function checks on everything. I'm just making sure, especially the saw, making sure it's functioning properly. Getting the belt on, getting the that's kind of what I was going through for the most part. Then as you're sitting there, when you're sitting there too long waiting on, then you start thinking back at home. That's what sucks. When you're waiting and waiting and waiting, then you start thinking back at home.
Were you guys getting stand downs?
Yeah, we got told to stand down by Bob.
And so, is that
A chief of base.
Yeah, no. But is that a director from DC?
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
That's just douchebag Bob.
Okay.
So a lot of people don't know.
Can't believe you, Bob.
Bob played that role
Unbelievable.
well, by the way,
Yeah.
in the movie.
So that was Bob. That came from him and him alone. A lot of people don't know that. So the State Department got attacked twice prior to that. I was there. If I want to remember, February, March, April, May. I think it got attacked in June. I was there that night when it got attacked in June. So this was before we had the SPO guys. So we were manning the cameras. So we were doing the 24/7 on the cameras, and I was doing the cameras that night. And they got. I think it was about 1 a.m. when they got hit. So we got the radio call. This is when they were smart. They're using the radios versus calling us on the phone like those guys did. So they said, hey, we're under attack. We're under attack. So I immediately just, I don't respond. I just went over, woke up the team, went over, got the rest of the team up and went back, radioed them up, said, got you. We're getting ready to roll out. So I got the vehicles ready. And that's when the team leader got up the chief of base. And again, we were ready to go before the chief of base even got up. As he goes, no, stand down. You guys ain't going. Literally, he told us to stand down that night. So again, Bob was notorious for telling us to stand down. So a lot of people don't know. He told us to stand down because weeks prior, just about a week or two prior to that, 17 Feb, which was in charge of the security over at the consulate, told Bob that if anything ever happened, they were not going to show up. Period. And the reason why they were not going to show up, Sarah actually just did a thing on this not too long ago, was because that the U.S. was supporting one of the other guys. I can't say his name because the Durka names, I don't understand them. They were supporting somebody that they didn't like, and plus a little bit of the money that they're paying the 17 Feb. That night, as we were getting ready, Bob got a hold of them and again told them, "We told you we are not going to come and help." That is why we got told to stand down, because we were the only help that was coming for them. So if we wouldn't have left when we did, they all would have died.
So that's what I was. That was, I think, what I was remembering. That was the ask, is you guys were ready to go, so you knew that there was a need for you. So I guess it wasn't necessarily a call; you were already there, but you were responding to what was already happening, and you were told to stand down. Then you go, but you've got all these feelings and emotions, so you're feeling this unction. We got to go help. We got to go do this, and you go. What's it like whenever you finally are able to go? What are those feelings whenever you know we got the green light? We're doing this.
Oh, we never got a green light.
You did it anyways.
We did it anyways.
And what was that like? You're in the vehicles. You're going on. What's going through your mind? Your head.
I was pissed.
You're angry.
I was
you were getting into the fight angry.
So because you're just sitting there waiting. Again, now you get a radio call that the guys just says, if you guys don't get here now, we're all gonna die. That was really the last call we got from the State Department. So when we're rolling over there, my grenade launchers, it's loaded now. It's in there. The belt fed's loaded. We get over there. You got a guy again, and on the street corner. I call him it's just a chubby freaking business suit dude. Don't know who they were. So get out. I got the saw. Come to find out, still don't really know who they were. Actually, I think they actually were the Ansar Sharia guys or somebody like that. But they already had contact with the dudes on the compound. So again, this is how pissed I was. Done waiting. I wasn't talking. I took the saw, put it back in, grabbed a grenade launcher, went to the corner. I was just engaging. So I went to the corner. There's 3 guys already engaging, going down. So this is what was weird, was they were already engaging. So I just went a lot, 3 grenades, and the first one hit, Sarah saw the video footage. I think Oz might have too, and the team leader did. This is how I know from 3 different people, at least from Sarah. I think Oz did too. But the first grenade that hit is when they all took off. So if the State Department would have came on the radio and said, "Hey, they are gone," we could have all jumped in the vehicle and hauled down there. But since they didn't, we still tactically, maneuvered down there. So it still took us 30 minutes to move onto the compound because we didn't want to, there's 3 guys moving down a narrow freaking pathway. So we were trying to dodge in between construction sites, and anytime we could get off that road, we got off the road and kind of moved in, and we're trying to get up on, there's a pile of dirt. I think I talked about it in the book. Got up on a pile of dirt, but so the grenade launcher, I put it back into the vehicle. I didn't lose it, put it back into the vehicle because it was, again, I should attach it onto my rifle, but there was no sling for it. Because normally it was attached to one of the rifles, but we had a team leader that came in temporarily prior to that one who didn't want to attach to because he said that nobody else could use it. So he took it off a rifle and just had it. It's like, but nobody could really care. It was just so freaking stupid. Anyway, so put it back in the vehicle, grabbed the saw, and we moved down. But when I was going up onto a mound of dirt, so we were trying to, because the mound of dirt was actually taller than the wall. So myself and Jack moved up, and then when I kind of got up on the wall, freaking the saw, notorious for the drum to break and fall off. Well, it snapped off, and all the freaking 200-round drum went out. So it was kind of a cool moment. Did the whole, broke it off, half Rambo it, half the I'm not gonna leave it jangling, so I get half the rounds around my neck and the other round here, so it was kind of cool. But anyways,
At what point did you realize that you had been shot, and what was that like?
it was a 7.62 round that tags you in the side, so it was the first firefight at the annex. And it kind of moved up after because I was moving up to Tower 3 bringing some water, and something kind of came over, blew up, Anyway, so I moved up. It was pretty quick. It was probably within 5 minutes of the first firefight. And I don't know exactly how, but just kind of engaging, and then something just tagged me right in the side. It was on the left-hand side, and I knew it right away. It freaking hurts. But it was the first time I ever wore, we call it the battle rattle. So you have two types of armor. You got like pretty much the low profile stuff. It's still, it'll still stop 7.62, but I had the ones with the side plates on because, we're going to a hostage rescue and, unknown number. So I had the full, side plates on, and that's luckily I did, because otherwise I'd have been probably, who knows what happened, but it tagged that side and it freaking hurt. But, I just kind of put my hand up and, just trying to make sure it didn't penetrate, and kind of filling for a hole, because I was sweatier than crap, so it was all wet, but I was trying to fill for a hole. Didn't feel anything, just got back up and started engaging again.
So, did it actually penetrate at all? Okay.
No penetration.
So it just fragged off your armor, off the plate on the side?
Yeah. I never looked. I never looked for it the next morning. So when we kind of got to the airport, I ended up dumping my plate because I thought we were all taking off. I didn't know.
Yeah, you guys stayed, right?
We ended up staying. So when I got in, because I was going to help get Oz and everyone on, so I kind of got on the plane, took my gear off on the plane, came back off, and started loading things on. Like, oh, you guys are staying. I never went back in and got my stuff. So I stayed off in Benghazi without my plates.
Wow. How long were you there after they left?
A couple hours.
That's it. All right.
Well,
So-
they one thing he doesn't share is that they had to find their own way home.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well,
Uber? What'd you do?
Uber.
No, out of Germany.
Yeah. So and that's I'm questioning. I'm like, well, we have all these planes, military planes that we pay taxes for. They didn't just send one over for you guys. And he's like, no.
But your exfil wasn't done on military plane, was it? I mean, on the ones they carried out first. Wasn't that a commercial, quasi-commercial?
Out of Benghazi?
Yeah.
No, it was a Libyan. So it was a Libyan military flight that got us out of Benghazi.
wow.
Got you guys out.
Yeah.
But
No,
the first group that went.
It was a Libyan businessman's jet.
Oh, okay.
Private.
Yeah, that's what I was getting. So it wasn't commercial, but it was a private.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
a
Okay.
private
All
one.
right.
So these guys had to buy their own plane ticket home, back find their own way home.
While there's Somali daycares over here just raking in all of the government's money.
That's why they couldn't
Unbelievable.
afford it.
Leering centers, and these guys are buying tickets out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
This one actually brings little tears to my eyes. So they're kicked off the roof, thrown off the roof.
So the two Delta again at the time I didn't know I thought they were just GRS guys. I didn't know who they're just dressed, just like we were, just pretty much that's how we dress, like how you're dressed.
Yeah.
So they kind of came back around and said, hey, come pull security for us. So when I went back, I was like, okay. So I say, hey, we have these straps we can use. We can wrap them around like a toe strap. We can wrap around because we used to told one half's got like a loop around it. We can put it on them and lower them down. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. We got this. And I was like, okay. So I went to go start going up the ladder. Like, no, stand down here and pull security. I'm like, this is freaking stupid. It's pretty much the wall is about as tall as this wall right here. Oh. So he got a wall that's about as tall as your wall right here. I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I can't pull security while you're trying to, because I'm thinking they're going to lift him up and kind of carry him down kind of a thing. Like, this is freaking stupid. So I'm just standing there. And next thing I know, they put him up on a ledge, because there's probably about like a 3-foot ledge, maybe 3.5-foot ledge around the whole entire roof. So they put him on top and then just shove him off. Wasn't like trying to lower him down, no, nothing. It was just shove.
And your thoughts on that?
Dude, it was again it screwed me up.
I think I would have come out of my boots.
I
I did when I saw the movie, and it's just a movie. But that was out of the entire movie. That was the hardest thing for me to watch.
It's kind of sad because people go, "Oh, you're just weak." You should be expecting you're in when you're in the middle of a firefight and you have to get them off. I get it, but when there's nothing been going on for hours and you have 300 freaking actual military personnel surrounding your compound to get you out of there safely, nothing's going on, and you can get somebody out of there respectfully, you do it. But again, when you have to get them home, you do whatever you can. I get it. You do whatever you can to get them off, but that wasn't the case.
Did you ever talk to those guys or something else otherwise?
So again, no, I never. I talked to them once at the CIA when they were giving us our fake awards. And when they came up to me, it was very freaking weird. It's the only time I ever talked to them. And they came, hey, remember when we were up on the roof and we were getting shot at? I'm like, no. I said, when I was up on the roof, I never got shot at. All the firefight was done and over with. The mortars were done. Everything was done. Because what it was is how they wrote their awards.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's why. And again, they lied to the family saying they got them off the roofs respectfully and all this other. It's all it's all bullcrap.
So even the cook got a higher award than they did.
Well, they got the same.
They got the same award, and they were not even in the fight.
So come to find out, Hush, our team leader, actually got the highest award out of everyone. I found that out actually later on. We thought he got the Intel Cross, but he got the Intel Star.
Interesting.
And that team leader, what's his name again?
Hush.
We don't talk about him, huh?
No, that's his calls. I really don't care. It's supposed to be class. I really don't care anymore.
Huh.
Last question for me on Benghazi, Clinton's involvement or non-involvement. Chris Pronto, he's been outspoken about it for years. What's your thought? So
again, a lot of stuff has come to light about again Sarah and Boone or Odie. They kind of they got their new book. Well, it's been out a little bit longer. That Benghazi, Know Thy Enemy. Again, she was a targeter, and she's been digging into a lot of stuff. And obviously, our governments have call them out for what they are. They didn't do crap. So two different groups attacked. One group attacked the consulate. One group attacked the CIA annex. Neither one of them were together. Totally separate attacks. No group were attached to each other. The one that attacked the consulate, I'll get to the Hillary thing because they're kind of playing. So the one that attacked the consulate, they were planning that for months. They weren't planning on initially. I don't think it had nothing. It didn't really have nothing to do with the ambassador. I think when they found out the ambassador was coming, or when they found out he was there, it turned into a potential kidnapping. So was that Hillary's fault? Well, of course. I mean, she knew it had been attacked twice prior. If she didn't, then she's just incompetent, which I think she is anyways. The security, what they're asking for more security personnel months prior, the year prior, especially after they moved the consulate, the embassy from there up to Tripoli. You know, all the security went up there. Again, that night when I was there, when they got attacked, there was only 2 security personnel there. 2 people to protect that compound. And
it was multiple acres, right?
Yeah, 8 acres.
Yeah.
Again, 2 people
Holy crap.
protecting that compound. That was in June, just months prior to this. So for them to sit there and say, "Oh, we didn't know," okay, whatever. 100% preventable if they had just listened to the people on the ground. So again, it was her fault. She oversaw it. But who should have been actually held accountable for the actual attack itself and the complacency of it? It should have been Lamb. She was the head of security for the whole entire thing. I mean, you can't. That's like holding the president accountable if a military base gets attacked.
Sure.
You know, to me, that'd be more the secretary. You know, that would not really, well, sorry, it'd be like the Secretary of Defense be accountable.
Right.
You can't really. It's like who's actually in charge of it. So it'd be more like Lamb's actually, to me, should be in prison for the death of Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith. That's my opinion. You can't really hold the Secretary of, not Defense, the state. What would Hillary's title would have been?
Secretary of State?
No, yeah, Secretary of State. Excuse me, Christmas. You can't really hold that because there's so many other things that she has to look at, but again, for what it was at the time, maybe you could have.
But she's briefed on it.
She is brief, but to me, Charlene Lamb should have been held accountable for the death of Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith because she kept denying the security. When you have 2 security personnel there during an attack and you don't increase the security, that's dereliction of duty. That's incompetence. That is just it's asinine. So you had Al Qaeda, Ansar Sharia, you had 7 different terrorist organizations that came together to do that assault.
Wow.
And they would have had more that's what they had. They had planned to have more people for that attack, but the timeline got sped up because Ambassador Stevens showed up.
Oh.
That's kind of what I heard. And then for our compound, it got attacked because the Delta Force guys got a hold of the least of the evils, and it was Liberty Shield is who it was, and the reason why they got delayed at the Benghazi airport is because they wanted for daylight. They wanted to set up the mortar team, which is the ones I was talking about earlier. They needed daylight because they don't know how to shoot mortars at night. So when daylight came, that's when they showed up to pick them up at the airport, and they brought them to our compound because they wanted us all at the compound at one time to kill us all. But I don't think from what I was we kind of understand, I believe when I understand from what Sarah was saying, is the Libyan Shield commander guy that took them there went into the compound and kind of screwed up their plan. So I think that's the only reason why the mortars actually stopped, because there's nothing. The reason by the grace of God, is the only reason why that building didn't collapse, because it got hit by 3 mortars. The attack itself lasted 1 minute and 14 seconds, 1 minute and 13 seconds. That is fast for 5 mortars. I mean, that is fast. So why the mortars really stopped, nobody really truly knows, but I believe that's what it was, because he was inside that building that got hit. So why the military got told supposedly to stand down, it's not the stand down that people think it was. So we were being attacked. We had the drones overhead. When the drones showed up, they actually showed up while we were at the State Department. They followed us back to our compound. When we were at our compound, we kind of told them, we don't need you watching us. We need you to watch the 300 something people that are attacking the consulate and see what they're doing. Watch that mob, because we need to know when they're moving towards us so we can truly prepare which direction they're coming at, so we can kind of direct our fire in that way if we have to. So when we were being attacked, nobody knew we were being attacked. So after, even this is after our first hit, they had the Charleston, the medical bird was in Germany saying, hey, you know, there was a cable traffic saying, hey, we're in Germany, we can land in Benghazi, you know, with the medical bird, whatever. I don't remember the exact cable traffic. And then Hush sent a cable traffic back, no, we don't need you, we're all good here. Mm-hmm. That cable traffic inadvertently told everyone to stand down.
Wow. That's not mentioned in the movie.
Nobody knew about it until 10 years later.
Okay.
That's why.
Interesting.
So again, when you don't know the truth, you don't know what really happened. If you did, people don't like it when I say that, because people want to blame Hillary Clinton for the stand down order. This is because that's, again, if people knew we're still being attacked, military assets would have showed up. It could have, you know, Ronan Bug could still be alive.
Sure.
So
and Sarah's been able to dig all this up.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You do, and again, that stand down order. If we'd have left, if Bob had let us leave when we wanted to leave, it's 100% fact that Master Steve and Sean Smith would be alive today.
Wow,
it's a fact.
And they took their bodies, right?
No,
they did not take their bodies.
So they didn't. We got Sean Smith when we showed up. We found him. So they found him as we were coming into the compound, or I think. I don't know exactly when, but they found Ambassador Stevens about 1:00 in the morning. When we were searching for him, they didn't get all the way in. I mean, I got in there a little bit, but he was found inside of his bedroom, so all the way in the back of the safe room. When the smoke dissipated, they were able to get all the way in. It was mainly like the looters and stuff like that, you know. And they pulled him out. It was actually a Libyan military guy, I think he was like a commander or something like that, knew who he was, and a neighbor guy saw who he was. So yeah, they went in there to kidnap him and stuff, but they didn't know who the hell he was. So that's all I'm saying. It was a planned attack, somewhat planned kidnapping, but they didn't know what the hell the dude looked like. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So the looters kind of found him, pulled him out. Two people who actually saw who he was and knew who he was, but didn't say anything. The neighbor told somebody to go get his car, driver to go get his car, grabbed him, dragged him to his car, and took him to the hospital. That's what happened to him.
So the pictures that I recall seeing were probably them carrying him into the hospital then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they were dragging him, but dragging him to get him to the hospital.
Okay. That makes more sense.
But not like Mogadishu dragging him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that, because I do remember that picture vividly in my mind.
Yeah, he was never tortured, mutilated, nothing like that.
Good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's yeah.
So what has it been like adjusting to civilian life after serving to the extent that you did, and now not only adjusting to civilian life, but settling into the political world, running and doing your part to serve the Republican Party here in Colorado? What's that been like?
Well, I kind of got thrown into politics after we kind of did the book. So actually this part's kind of easy. Settling in the civilian world again, being a contractor, technically you're still a civilian. It's been, pretty easy for me, I think, just the way my mindset kind of worked. I think my childhood kind of brought my mind into that kind of wrecked world in the beginning, but going overseas, the first couple of years, spent about, try to do that 330 days so you get the 90 grand tax free, come home, I'd come home for about, a week, a month or whatever it is and go right back over. So I did that, for a while. So, I did it for 10 years. I kind of calculated out almost out of the 10 years, it's almost 7 years overseas.
Was this all GRS?
Almost all, almost pretty close to all of it. But then I think about 2009, they cut it off to where you had to stay home for about 2 months.
Right.
Because so many dudes were getting burnt out and having a lot of problems. So, but at first, you'd go over about, 3 to 6 months and come back for about 2 weeks.
Yeah. I was going to do original Blackwater in
Yeah.
95.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. I think it was 4 on, 1 off, something like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And but a lot of dudes are like, okay, we stop that. People are getting burnt out, and but there are some dudes, especially at some locations. They're never going home.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew about dudes that would go to the States and then they'd go overseas just so they could still do that through. I'm like, dude, why?
Yeah.
I still went home,
The
but
pay.
yeah, still.
I know. But that was a big draw.
Yeah.
Tax free.
But working for the agency, man, what, 500? You'd make $500 a day. I think the most I ever made per day, I think it was $850 a day.
Wow.
That was it.
That's uncanny. And buying your own airplane ticket out of Benghazi.
Yeah. Well, not out of Benghazi, out of Germany.
Or Germany, sorry.
So people
Yeah.
like, what do you mean? So it's what happened. So when we got out of Benghazi, went into Tripoli. I'll try to be fast. We went into Tripoli. We got debriefed. So what happened? We kind of told them what happened. And then, so when we went there, though, so the embassy was evacuated. So I remember pulling in, suitcases lined the streets of the annex up in Tripoli, CIA annex up in Tripoli. I'm like, what the hell's going on? That's when we found out the whole embassy evacuated. They were because again, we're very well protected. And so we get debriefed. We get change of clothes. And my clothes had blood all over them. My shoes had blood all over them. But I just got to change a shirt and pants. And so we go, actually, I think it was about, I don't know what, anyways, kind of had a little bit of lunch, a little bit of snack, then kind of took a nap, woke up, said, hey, you guys are being evacuated to Germany. So we get evacuated to Germany, get there, we land. USO's there to kind of give us, because we all lost everything in Benghazi. And so USO's there, but the whole embassy's coming with us, right? So we get there and we go into this building. The whole embassy's in front of us. Again, they got their suitcases, but the whole team, I'm talking about the State Department as well. We're all the Benghazi kind of team. We're kind of sitting in the back. Embassy goes through the line first. They take everything. I mean, pants, underwear, socks, toiletry, everything. And the USO team kind of comes and they're like, because we're standing in the back, like, are you guys the ones from? They're like, yeah. So they kind of went and they came back and they handed us all credit cards, I think a couple $100 each. It's like, wow. when the commissary opens, just go use these and get whatever you guys need, So luckily, we were able to kind of buy some.
And
stuff.
that was the USO.
That was the USO.
Good on them.
And I'm just thinking, but those rats from freaking the embassy, you freaking bunch of scums, man.
Yeah.
You guys didn't need a thing, not a thing. So, anyways, next morning, our headquarters gets there from GRS. We get the debrief, and they're like, hey, the FBI would also like to talk to you. We're like, why? That was the weirdest freaking thing to me. He's like, for how many attacks I've been in, assaults I've been in, I've never had to talk to the FBI. For how many consulate attacks I've been in, I've never had to talk to the FBI. Like, why are we talking to the FBI? Well, they're considered a criminal act. It was just weird to me. I was like, okay, no, we don't need to talk to them. So we had the chance to talk to them in Germany, but no, we're good. So they left it up to us. So we're kind of sitting why ain't we leaving? Why ain't we going home? Then they had the transfer of the 4 guys. We didn't even know they were doing this whole thing. We're like, well, this is kind of, why can't we be there? And then, after we kind of watched it the next day, okay, you guys can go home, but you got to buy your own plane ticket and find it. So obviously, trying to find the next plane ticket home the next day, that's freaking expensive. So that's how, we bought our own plane ticket, flew home, but we didn't go home. We had to fly into Langley first and then your ticket home. So you fly in there, stop there for, still get medical treatment because my lungs were cooked. I mean, my neck, I could barely, because this whole right side's still been jacked up ever since. I can, every now and then I still get stiff, but I couldn't turn my head at all. Because when I was going through the window, my night vision goggles were up top, kind of, because your adrenaline's pumping, you don't wear them all the time, so I freaking slammed my head, got it shattered the night vision goggles, so that was $1 million probably. But my lungs were cooked from going in and out of the people say, well, just hold your breath. Man, your adrenaline's pumping. You ain't holding your breath at all. So anyway, so I saw the medical team there. So yeah, I think I was in DC for at least 3 or 4 days or something like that before I actually got to go home. So you're buying your plane ticket there, then you're buying your plane ticket from Langley to home.
And nobody picks up the tab on this stuff?
You're a contractor.
Oh, man. All right.
So
I mean, I get it. That makes sense. I got it.
yeah. So when you're with Blackwater, Blackwater pays for it all.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I never went. When they told me where I was going at the time, because I was tactical and medic, so they liked both those things. So it was an Africa portion that they were looking at, and they're like, you got to take. So normally take 12 shots, you get to take 15 or whatever the number. And I'm like, yeah, nah, I don't think so.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually what kept me from. It was what they wanted to put into my body, where they were going to send me. I was like, this ain't worth that money. So no, I ended up staying home. I looked at triple canopy when they came back around, but no, I stayed on. I just was law enforcement. I was just SWAT fugitive. Yeah, my daughter's the one that ended up going through the Naval Academy and serving.
Yeah, the fun thing about being a direct with the agency, you can go anywhere they are.
Yeah.
Problem with being you got the industrial, then you have direct. Industrial, you can only go where they have contracts.
Right.
Where being direct, you can go anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this has been an incredible conversation. We've already gone a little bit longer than we normally go, and we want to be respectful
That's not
of
what
your
she said.
time. So we will start to wrap this up, but you both in your respective races here in Colorado, we want to make sure that you have the opportunity to tell people where they can look you up, find more information, and come along and support you on your campaign. So, John, if you want to go first, then we'll let Pricella.
Well, for my campaign, it's TIG, FOR, for mayor. Pretty much anywhere on social media and tigformayor.com.
Got it. And Pricella, where can people find you and find more information?
Yeah, so you can find me at Pricella Tiegen, hd15.com. You can also find me on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure also, if you want to know more information about me, you can actually find my email also on my website. Like, again, it's Pricella Tiegen, hd15.com.
If you want support her first. Mine's not till April 2027.
Yes. So general election is November. So if you're not registered to vote, please register to vote. And make sure you turn out to vote. Tell your family, tell your cousins, tell your auntie, tell your grandma. Díganles a todos, asegúrense que vayan a votar este noviembre.
Taco Bell.
Amen.
That's what I heard. I heard Diablo sauce.
Yes.
No español?
No.
No habla español?
Poquito.
Oh, poquito. Oh, bien. All right, Micah, you have anything to follow up to just close us out here?
Grateful for two things. I'll be fast because we are long. Grateful for your service, thanks, and the story to be told thereafter. And grateful for your heart, your measurement of faith, the good book. And I'm externally grateful for the relationship the two of you are willing to stand here and fight for your country. So taking office, it's not so much about the label. I think you said it earlier. It's the fact that you're fighting for the country. Yes. And so appreciate you both for doing that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're welcome.
Yes, thank you both very much. It's been a great conversation, and I feel very encouraged, and I have faith that there's hope for the Republican Party whenever there's people like you two fighting for it. So thank you for what you're continuing to do, John, to fight for your country, fight for Colorado here, and thank you for helping him, being a blessing to him, and also for running your respective race and fighting for Colorado here. We appreciate both of you, and we appreciate the conversation today.
Yep,
and we end every episode with prayer. So who would like to do that? All right. You've been volunteered.
All right.
You've been voluntold, I think.
Yeah, it looks like. Father, we just thank you. We thank you for who you are. Thank you for your faithfulness. Father, we just, right now, Father, we just lift up the state of Colorado to you, Father, and all the leaders who are running right now, Father. We just thank you that you give us clarity, direction, and your confirmation, Father, in what we need to do, Father. Give us, Father, we believe that you will download your wisdom, Father, and strategies on how to move forward within our areas, our House districts, our Senate districts, and our governorship, Lord. We just thank you, and our congressional districts, Father. We just thank you. I bless the leaders, Father, right now, Father. I ask for your covering over them, also over Micah and Jared. And I thank you for both of them, Father. I just thank you that they are echoing the principles of what you stand for, Father, and that they go far and wide also, Father. I just thank you for this podcast, Lord. And we just always give you the honor and the glory for who you are, Father. And we just thank you for your grace upon us, Father, that even when we are faithless, that you remain the same, faithful. And thank you in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen to that.
Amen. If you've enjoyed this episode, please comment, like, subscribe, follow, and be sure to share this with somebody that you think would be enlightened and be blessed to hear this conversation. We appreciate you guys. And until next time, last thing is we just need you to sign the wall.
Got us on the wall.
Gotta sign the wall.
All right.
All right. Excellent. Thank you, guys.
I carry a gun 'cause this world's gone cold. A knife for the path when the stories unfold. But the one that leads me come fire or trial is the word in my hand with a leather-bound smile. It's the life that I live, not just something